Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For any executive sessions,
There were none held.
we're going to start with the proclamation for Donate Life Month. Is he here?
Boris is here.
Ron's here. So,
Congratulations. Thank you.
congratulations. So, whereas by becoming an organ eye tissue donor, one individual can save and heal lives more than 100 people during National Donate Life Month. We honor the compassion and generosity of all the registered donors, donors' families, and living donors, recognizing the commitment of research, innovators, champions, regional partners, and medical professionals. We work tirelessly to save and heal lives through transplantation. And whereas over 103,000 Americans are currently on the national transplant waiting list, and more than 5,000 men and women and children in the Gift of Life donor program region are awaiting life-saving transplants. So it goes on, but what the important thing is, everybody should be a donor to be able to give somebody a chance at life, take a bad situation and make something better. So we appreciate everything that you're doing with this, everybody that donates, and everybody that, helping people's lives continue. So we appreciate everything you do from the county commissioners.
Thank you.
No, just you said it right there in a nutshell. Just please become a donor. The 25th of this month, I'm going to celebrate full 16 years out after my transplant. So everything's going good, and please think about it. It's very easy to become an organ donor. It's not that hard. Well, thank you for your time.
It's good to see you every year, my friend.
You too.
You've been a fantastic advocate for the program and true testament of it. So again, it's very important, like Commissioner said, it is. So it's on my license.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
Well,
Thank all of you.
Thank you. And,
Grab the one for
and now we'll get the doc.
Yeah, here comes the duck.
Morning. We shake the duck's hand or yours?
Absolutely.
Definitely the duck's hand. Here, shake the duck's hand. There you go. I was saying, we have a proclamation for Duck Month in Schuylkill County. Whereas on Sunday, April 27, 2025, Avenues will hold its 37th annual duck race on the banks of the Mill Creek in front of the St. Clair Walmart Supercenter, St. Clair, Pennsylvania. And whereas thousands of rubber ducks will be available for adoption in order to be entered into the race. And whereas all donations from the ducks adoptions will benefit children and adults participating in the vital programs offered by Avenues. And now therefore be it resolved that we, the Board of the Schuylkill County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as Duck Month in Schuylkill County. We commend Avenues and all Schuylkill County's volunteers who make this event successful. We urge all citizens to adopt a duck in Schuylkill County who can be considered and contributed towards this worthy cause. I just appreciate everything that Avenues does, the programs you provide for the people to be in these programs. It helps them become part of society and learn things and do stuff, and we really appreciate everything you do. And the duck race is definitely a highlight event of the year. I know a lot of people buy ducks, and I encourage everybody to buy a duck or more than one duck for the race. I don't know if my fellow commissioners have anything else to say.
Pretty much what Larry said. Thank you all you do, Pete, on the Avenues, and really enjoyed the beer tasting event last week with the foundation. So it's just a great way to see the community come out in sports and helps that organization along. So it's very, very heartwarming.
and being part of Avenues, both personally and also on their board, it's an agency that definitely brings the quality of life and makes everyone equal out in the community. And also not just in this county, but in surrounding counties, the agency has done. So you've done a super job and continue to do super things on helping people with disabilities. So again, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Just appreciate everybody's support. This is our 37th year. It's impressive. Avenues has been around since 1952, and really without the support of the county, we wouldn't be the agency we are, allowing us to connect people with disabilities to their community. So thank you all for your support.
Something, do something.
That's the Aflac book.
That's the Aflac, you can't do that. That might be copyrighted. Okay, let's move on, public comment.
George Stankovich, Palo Alto. I'm here for senior citizens and veterans once again. Anybody that wasn't at the Pottsville High School last week, it was the same old, same old. It was a speech he made about 2 years ago. And anybody that got their papers, what their land is, what their home is, and everything like that, if there was anything wrong on those papers, which I guarantee you 75% of them at least were wrong, because I know everyone that I talked to said that they had something wrong on their things. So what I'm saying for people out there in the county, please look at what those dimensions of your home and property and everything is, and make sure that at least the outside is correct. I don't know, some of them I think are blind, but that's besides the point. I've been told I own all these acres, which I don't even own an acre, and I'm gonna have to set up an informal review. That's what they're calling it. You got so many days, 40 days I think it is, to do this, and I hope and pray that everyone gets lower estimates than what these clowns are coming up with, because I know that people that are on set incomes can't afford this, especially senior citizens and veterans of the county. I don't want to see anybody lose their home, nobody. And it's ridiculous. And school tax, I know you guys have nothing to do with it. School tax is out of bounds right now. 55 years I'm gonna be out of school paying for a tablet and pencil. And I'm paying over $1,800 for that. And I will not fix my home up. It's only my wife and I. We have no children, no grandchildren. And paying for school tax is ridiculous. It's unreal what they're doing to citizens of this county. And I'm tired of this. I hope and pray that a lot of people get up, speak, go to this office or call. They have a phone number you can call and see if you can get any help that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Morning. Hi,
Good morning.
Guy Robinson from Auburn. We spoke briefly on the phone. I have some comments in regards to the recycling program here. Been doing it for years. You know, a lot of cardboard, some days 30, 40, 50 boxes a week sometimes. Was a real pain back in the day when you're breaking it down, putting it in dumpsters, everything else. But at that point, at least you know it was there and it was possibly being used. Nowadays, you know, I'm paying for it, according to some. Putting it out, it's going in the same trash truck as it was before. It's going in right with my trash. Not all the time, but sometimes. Got it on video, video at my house. You ask them about it, your trash supplier, you know, they want to go, oh, you know, you're not paying for it. Well, yeah, I'm paying for it. But then I find out that not everybody is obligated to do it, which makes zero sense to me, you know, because it says as of April 2020 or 2021, I believe, it was mandated. It's a mandatory thing, you know, but not for everybody. I may go into developments and businesses and I'm like, hey, where can I throw my recycling boxes? Well, we don't do that. We don't have to do that. It doesn't make sense. You know, but the bigger part is there was money allotted to recycling. You know, it was employees, employee benefits, all the dumpsters. the sites, maintenance on all the vehicles. I mean, it was a good chunk of change. I don't know how much it was. If I had to throw a number in, had to be $500,000 or more.
$500,000 a year more.
All right, had to be $500,000 or more. They just got rid of it. I asked where that money went. You know, where'd that money go? So the taxpayers are paying it, say $500,000. So that $500,000, in my personal opinion, should have been sent out to your suppliers as far as people collecting. That didn't happen. They took that $500,000, yes, you guys, and put it in the general fund. Disappeared. It just disappeared. So what do you do at that point? You take taxpayer money, $500,000, instead of putting it in where you gotta recycle, because you guys push it all. I think it's a big thing, but it's not as big as you think it was or is anymore. You know, talk to Waste Management. They'll tell you there's no money in recycling. That's why they got rid of it. That's why they don't do it. Ever since China stopped paying for glass, there's no money in it. But that $500,000 should have been pushed back over. You guys took it, stuck it in the general fund, and then tell every taxpayer, hey, now you're paying $10 a quarter. But they don't tell everybody that. And then you're not getting what you wanted anyway. So to me, I think it's just a big fraud. It's more money out of everybody's pocket, which isn't right. I called my trash supplier, and they basically told me, hey, you're not paying for it. Yeah, I'm paying for it, because that day when they picked it up, the gentleman told me, I said, why'd you throw it all in one truck? He's like, oh, they told us you don't pay for it anymore, so you're not recycling. But if I don't recycle it, because I separated 20, 30 feet, because they had an issue with some other stuff that was in my trash as far as being all together, you know, so they're sitting here telling me that I'm not paying for something, but if I put it all together, you know what they tell me? Now you have too much trash. You have too much trash, now you gotta pay this, because you're only allowed, 6 bags a week. So I don't understand how it's fair or why the recycling program is, seriously, I think it should be out the window or mandated to all. And I didn't get a chance to get a copy of it, but I plan on getting it right after this. Couldn't find it online, only small blurbs. But I'd really like more information on it and why it isn't being followed. I spoke to him on the phone. I spoke to him on the phone with Mr. Hess. Didn't have the answers. I don't understand it. I specifically spoke about, let's say Pine Brook. You guys know where Pine Brook's at. Do a lot of work in there, went to recycle. Well, we don't need recycling.
Well, Pine Brook contracts their own garbage because it's a private community.
There you go.
And that's most municipalities probably contract their own garbage.
But they're not paying the fees. They're not paying the recycling fees, but it's mandated. Mr. Hess said Haven's mandated that they must have recycling bins for businesses. I guarantee you not everybody has it. I've been in there.
Well,
I've worked, yeah, but if
but
there's...
that's on Haven. That's on whoever individual. So if I understand this correctly, it's on an individual municipality thing. We don't have county collection. So
Is it not mandated in the program that...
It's curbside at Haven.
I know, but isn't there some type of mandate you told me about for Schuylkill Haven, Tamaqua?
It was, the way it was when we closed down the recycling, it was turned over to the haulers had to do the recycling. That's the way the ordinance kind of.
Tamaqua and Pottsville are 5,000 people or more, they are mandated by the state. All the rest, like I say, Tamaqua and Pottsville were mandated by state because of the population.
Yeah, that's what the small
By
blurb
the
I did
state.
was able to read. Yeah, mandated by the state.
Okay.
But where's the recycling for the businesses? If they're mandated, why is not the businesses doing as well? You told me it's mandated, it's
Well, I don't
for
know if
businesses
the,
because
I
you do
know
your
it's
own.
curbside and residential have
Yeah.
to do it because the things out there. I'm not sure I do it automatically. I have an extra bin that's recyclable. I've always had that
Right.
since the program started. Now, the borough also had cardboard that they were taking, that you could take it to that site right now in Schuylkill Haven.
Yeah, they're getting rid of that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's going too.
But that's up to Schuylkill Haven.
But my biggest thing is $500,000, where'd it go? And why wasn't it pushed back? Why are the taxpayers losing the $500,000 that was already allotted for it? It disappears and then,
We were facing a annual deficit when I got here. And it was either stop the program or raise taxes. It wasn't like the money was there, we would come up short in our budget. So 2018, there was no tax increase in those years. I got here in 2020, and we were facing not only the $500,000 deficit from that program, but the trucks were shot, the bins were shot. It was going to cost $4 or $5 million to replace all the equipment. So if you wanted to pay another couple of mils of taxes on your property, that would have been the answer. We decided not to. We decided the best place to do recycling is at the curb. Anytime you pick stuff up and haul around, it costs money, it takes employees, takes fuel. So we said this and that, and we talked to, we down at home, Hamburg. We said,
yeah.
if we like it, we won't charge you for your cardboard. No, nothing for the glass, they'll take a little can, all the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts do that, so, we were being charged for what we picked up. So it was happening, and that, there wasn't that, in the budget, that money was gonna have to be part of in taxes, okay? Years ago, the state gave money toward recycling and helped us get it from it, that all went away, it all washed out, so it wasn't like.
It went away because there's no money in it. But then you guys still mandate that you gotta recycle, and then you make people pay $10, but not everybody. So if it's mandated, it's like anything else. Mandate means everyone.
Okay, well, we'll have to look into it.
All right.
I'll have to get more information.
Understandable. But you're saying a tax deficit, but I'm sitting here reading lawsuits that every one of you guys knew about for years.
No, I was just.
Maybe
a
not.
county
All right,
commissioner.
yeah. I know you, but most people knew about it for years, including myself. And nothing was done. But
Okay, well,
there's your $1 million,
public comment. Thank
multi-million
you.
dollars gone on
Yeah, thank you.
sexual harassment.
Any other public comment?
Morning, Jeff.
Good morning. Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto. Two great proclamations, by the way. Avenues is a great agency. Ron's a great guy. Congratulations on 16 years, Ron. Boots, you said you cut $500,000 recycling to save from raising taxes a few mils. You were facing a deficit when you got in. Now you're facing a $20 million deficit 5 years down the road. What did you do to help that? Now you raised it 3.25 mils. Seems weird. Like the gentleman said, $500,000 a year times 4 years. Well, at least we covered Hal Kovich's lawsuit. First one. There's another one pending with Jane Doe 5. There's 2 discrimination suits pending. I'm sure you are all well aware of that. More lawsuits possibly pending with reassessment. It's unbelievable. Boots, I'm glad to see you're awake. You took a 45-minute nap at the reassessment presentation at the Pottsville Middle School. That was very classy of you. Hopefully you stay awake during your fundraiser in a couple of weeks for the $5,000 main sponsor. That's a joke. Lisa Stevens, still no update on that. No right to know, nothing from the AG. Miss Gaffney, I see she's out campaigning at the coroner's office. Can't show up for work, but she could be out there campaigning at that joke of a place too. We'll get into that later. Works less than 100 hours and gets a $96,000 salary and benefits package. Complete fraud. Still won't show up to explain her FMLA. I guess under FMLA you can campaign and show up at events.
She doesn't have that information.
Well, I know that. She was told not to say it, but she still did. So she owes the taxpayers explanation on why she's getting $96,000 a year and doesn't show up for work. March is over. Speaking of that, I challenged any elected officials to keep their hours for the month of March, see how often they showed up at the workplace. Don't think I'll get any of those, but I just wanted to remind everybody it is April. Reassessment, it's a shame less than 300 people showed up at the 5 meetings. 92,000 parcels throughout the county, that's less than 1%. Again, they weren't advertised properly, they were advertised after the meetings occurred, they weren't on the county websites. How do you expect people to know about it? I spoke with Mr. Barr, he explained to me that even if you do vote not to certify it, it must go through. It's a formality, it's a court case, it's a consent decree. All 3 of you could vote no, but it still goes through because of the court case. So you might want to look into that, Larry.
That's not true.
We'll discuss the elephant in the room, Mr. Halkovich and his disgusting ways. $1.75 million of taxpayer money, plus the increase of the insurance premiums coming down the road. It's coming out of the taxpayers' pockets. What are the legal fees for the county as well? None of those are listed yet. Is the insurance picking that up? Do we have to pay that?
That's all within the insurance.
I believe we did pay them some money though throughout already.
Our $10,000 deductible.
Okay.
All
And
the rest of it's done.
he
all
still
the stuff
receives
is
he
done.
still receives his pension from the county?
Yes, Jeff, because he was not impeached by Harrisburg. That's
Okay.
out of our control.
And
If he
have
would've
you
been
guys
impeached,
have you guys done anything to press that
yes,
impeachment?
I have asked numerous times, and I've asked our legislative, I know Tim Torzit was pushing it like crazy, trying to get it done. I have looked, you can ask our solicitor's office, I looked at every legal thing we could possibly do.
So we'll break it down. I know you weren't sitting up there, but break it down as this man terrorized women over the course of years, locked this door on one occasion in the depositions, which was not argued upon, and forced a woman to have oral sex on him, okay? Part of the court case, it's all in depositions. We're paying for that, the taxpayers are. He walks away scot-free. Boots, you allowed him to sit here until the end of December, okay? You didn't bar him from the courthouse. Mr. Grudy wanted to. You refused to, okay? And you allowed this behavior to continue. So did Mr. Bender. He was well aware of Jane Doe number 5, and you both allowed it to continue, and now we're paying out of our pockets. He gets a pension, he walks away scot-free, and it's a settlement, and it's over and done with. And he'll be out at all the block parties this summer. I hope he runs against you, Boots, and I hope he beats you. Because you allowed this to happen. It's a disgrace.
That's not true.
And then you have retaliation and discrimination cases from that incident.
But Jeff, this
But then
is
you
so-
allowed, hang on,
Hold
but
on.
you allowed 2 women and wrongfully accused them and damaged their reputation over their little looking up their information, which was part of their job, and suspended them for 900 plus days without pay, but yet allowed him to still walk in this courthouse, collect the pay, terrorize a 5th woman that ends up in another court case, and the taxpayers are going to pay more money. You allowed that, Boots. Let's be responsible here. You did.
It's not true.
An absolute, all right, then explain it to me.
He's a public official, I cannot.
If he wasn't impeached.
Actually, let me finish, Jeff.
Mr. Grudy's right there.
Let me finish, Jeff. Let me
Mr.
finish.
Grudy, when he was asked the opportunity to suspend Jeff, or Joe.
Everybody's
there were
stuttering here. Can we get an
times that
answer?
They asked you about George, and you didn't want to be involved. You wanted to, at one point, this whole thing was.
He violated the consent
hold
decree
on.
69 times when Mr. Grudy asked for him to be suspended or be left out of this
No,
building.
Mr. Grudy could have thrown him out
69
there.
times.
He's the sheriff.
All I got to say is, Mr. Chairman, is I went to the commissioners, and I brought up about having him work remotely from his home, which was told me we'll get sued.
We would.
And I said, sometimes you get sued for doing your job. I'm in law enforcement 48 years, and I get sued a lot of times.
When Jane Doe filed that complaint, I then decided to, that's it, he's banned. And the problem was, I was warned, you wind up with another lawsuit with the county.
And listen,
So I took that chance.
Okay, but you took the chance with
Give me credit for
1,
that.
2, 3, 4. So the 5th time is finally enough. Mr. Bender knew it was occurring the whole time. So 5 times. And Larry, you said, you promised me at the STS downtown, he was gonna be the first one you got rid of, and he just sits there silently.
Oh, boy.
But, oh yeah, oh boy. See, that's the problem. When I speak the truth and I say what people tell me,
but.
then it's a
We're
problem,
over 3
Boots.
minutes. Hold on.
You had to
We're
speak
not
the
getting
truth
into-
once.
Boots, did you sleep for 40 minutes last week at the reassessment?
I have
Did you sleep for 40
Jeff.
minutes?
Yes, I fell asleep in the meeting.
Yeah, 40 minutes.
Don't fight.
Right.
What a
Listen,
joke.
Today we have a settlement, okay, that both parties agreed to.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately.
it was unfortunately that this event happened.
Okay, but
I
then they
know
continue to
listen,
happen.
And it is now, I've been in here a year and 3 months. It's now getting put behind us, this incident.
Okay, but you still have
And
other
we
incidents
worked
still
hard-
going
Well, we
on.
have other, and they're all stemming from one person.
Okay.
And we'll deal with
And
those
it
ones
could-
with the thing. How else would you expect me to deal with them? They either, no, hold on, they either go to court or they settle.
Right.
There's no other way to deal with them. I can't fix what happened in the past, neither can nobody here. I can only make the future better, and that's all we can do. So we are working through this, and that's why at that time, there were Jane Does were brought back to work. Okay?
Mhm.
The lawsuit has settled by agreement by both parties. It's time to move forward from the lawsuit. It's a shame it happened, but you have to remember, it was one person's actions that set the stage for everything that followed. And I'll have a statement then about it.
Okay,
But
but
that's
now,
what said it. So there's nothing, and he was an elected official, that if Harrisburg would have impeached him, the people here would have had recourse. But as soon as Harrisburg did impeach, and I'm telling you now, he's defiant, he's been defiant his whole life. People asked him to leave this courthouse. And he would stand in the doorwell and just look at you and like basically put your hands on me and shove me out. Because you know what? I guarantee you he's gonna be the next one suing the county.
well,
Because but what I'm saying to you is, he's defiant and through this entire process, there's been nothing but defiance.
okay, but what I'm saying is that I agree with you on that part. It is one person. But for people to know it and allow it to continue is detrimental. What Mr. Hetherington and Mr. Bender allowed, okay, you weren't here, was detrimental. Read the depositions from front to back. I did, okay? It's detrimental for what they allowed, and that hurt the court case 10 times more than if it didn't happen. They knew it happened. They knew Jane Doe 5 was happening, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's too late. Let's rectify it.
Well,
Now you're going to pay out of pocket, and unfortunately, it's going to fall back on you. So where's that $2 million coming from? You're already in a $20 million deficit.
we're on a $20 million deficit.
1.75 million. Where's that coming from?
1.75 million, it was budgeted for this. We knew there was gonna be some type of settlement in some way or form.
Okay, so it's budgeted on the taxpayers. Taxpayers didn't know that because the
Listen,
budget meetings aren't open to the public.
I can't make him pay for it. Our recourse is to settle this either within the insurance.
Why did his homeowners not pick this up? There was other county officials that had lawsuits against them previously. Why are the taxpayers picking up a
The
sexual
homeowners,
harassment claim?
I looked into this, we couldn't go after it in any way, shape, or form.
So his homeowners could not pick this up. It was not,
Nope, it was looked into. Trust me, Jeff, I looked into every legal.
but other county
option.
officials had to take their homeowners.
It depends on how they were sued and what they did.
So, all right.
I know you don't like the answers, but you know what,
I
it's
don't,
sad.
because the taxpayers don't.
I don't either, because I'm a taxpayer too. I don't like it, you think any of us agree that, do you think that any of us are happy? That even any of us happy?
allowed it to happen. They
Well-
continue to allow it to happen.
The one person that did this was George Alkovich. That's who did this.
But other people allowed it to continue
Well,
to get worse.
It's hard to make George was still an elected county official. He should have been impeached.
Could have worked from home too.
He should have been, there's a lot of things that could have been done,
Right. You weren't there, so.
so.
We couldn't force, the sheriff in Lancaster County volunteered to work from home. George would not do that. We could not bar from the courthouse, okay? And that's the bottom line.
You could have and should, what do you do, physically put your hands on him and throw him out the courthouse? Joe, would you have done that? Would you have grabbed him by the back of the neck and throw him out of the courthouse?
Depends on the circumstance.
Could you legally do that? No, wait, could you legally do that? As him being an elected official, Joe,
No,
could you grab him by the back of the neck and say, get out of this courthouse?
no.
Okay. So let's move on with the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Prison.
Morning, Warden.
David Lupinski, Warden, on behalf of the prison. Approval of a contract with McClure Company, Wilkes-Barre, PA, to perform spring plan maintenance for the following: cooler freezer, the makeup air unit, the packaged unit, R2U, and the split system for the total amount of $3,662. The term is April 1st, 2025 through March 31st, 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Children and youth?
Morning.
Hey, Carl. At least Al doesn't have like 2 pages of stuff.
Carl Rumble, on behalf of Schuylkill County Children and Youth, we have 2 items to present today. First is an addendum to the existing agreement with Chore Youth and Family Services Incorporated out of Reading, Pennsylvania. That agreement is dated August 14th, 2024, and the addendum adds structured transitional living services program with a per diem $609.98. Second item is an agreement with the Delaware County Emergency Youth Academy, Chester, Pennsylvania, for their community-based residential shelter care services at a per diem $246.86. This agreement has a term of March 18th, 2025 through June 30th, 2025.
Election Bureau, Al.
Morning, Commissioners. Al Garkowski, Elections. Today we're requesting approval for a name change due to the change of ownership of Port Carbon Second Polling Site, Precinct number 56. It was formerly known as the First United Methodist Church at 211 Washington Street in Port Carbon. We would like to change the name to Port Carbon Red Church to, again, the same address. We also want approval for a temporary polling site change in Shenandoah, second polling site, Precinct number 65, due to renovations of the District Court. So District Court 21305, 33 South Main Street, we're temporarily going to change it over to the Shenandoah High Rise, which is actually just across the street from it at 100 South Main Street. Thank you.
Office of Senior Services.
Good morning, Commissioners. Deanna Orlowski, Senior Services. Approval to advertise for the request of a price quote on psychological evaluations, capacity assessments, and court testimony services necessary for the Protective Service Program. Approval of reappointments as members of the Office of Senior Services Advisory Board. The term is from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027. Judge James Riley in Pottsville and Mary Labert of McAdoo. Approval of the reappointment as a member of the Office of Senior Services for the term of September 1st through August 31st, 2027. Dr. Manish Mishra of Pottsville. Approval of the appointment as a member of the Senior Volunteer Program Advisory Board. The term would be January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027. Susan Cost of Pottsville. Approval of reappointments as members of the Senior Volunteer Program Advisory Board. The term is actually January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027. They are Joan Gears of Pottsville, Kathy Klauser of Ashland, Sandra Sipple of Pottsville, Deborah Herring of Schuylkill Haven, and Ray Thompson of Pottsville. Thank you.
Tax claim? Gary, are you gonna do the tax claim?
Approval of following settlement repository sales pursuant to 72 PS 5860-625. Those are listed on your sheet. And also approval of the attached list of private sale properties pursuant to 72 PS 5860-613. This was attached to your packet.
Okay, thank you. Coroner's office, Al? Okay,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Sorry, guys, I'm not done yet.
Yeah. You can just yell from the back, like Jeff does, it's okay.
Al Barton, Schuylkill County Coroner's Office. We are applying for a Paul Coverdale grant to purchase a Randox machine to bring toxicology into the office. Currently, we are waiting 6 to 8 weeks for toxicology, which holds up law enforcement to look into drug overdose cases under DDRD and stuff like that. We will turnaround time will be about 2 hours. They'll have a toxicology quantitative amount of what's in the decedent's system, and they can move forward with what's going on. It will save us approximately about 80% of our current toxicology budget by doing it in-house. So I dropped all the paperwork off to you guys. All you have to do is, if you're gonna sign it so we can get it sent in, it has to be in as soon as possible because they'll look at it. If there's any changes we need to make, they'll send it back, and we have till the 10th.
Okay.
Okay?
Once again, this is, go ahead, Gary.
Just on certification, on training, are your staff gonna be trained on this?
Yes, there will be 3 deputy coroners trained. They will be certified by the company, okay? And that will be through them. Then they'll come back every year for maintenance, and then we can train 2 other ones under the maintenance agreement.
Do they get ongoing training?
Yeah, well, what'll happen is every time they come up with a new matrix that they're gonna add, because right now I think we cover that covers 9 matrices: hair, blood, tissue, vitreous, fecal matter, your saliva, and stuff like that. They're actually working on putting a BAC into the system. So we will not have to send out a BAC toxicology. We'll be able to do it right in-house, and it'll give us a quantitative amount of BAC. So every time they come in to do something, if we have people that we want to train, we can train them and get them certified right away. Some of the counties are already moving away from NMS labs because it's saving them money. Lehigh County worked with their DA, and their DA is accepting it because the test this does is what they call an expanded. We generally do a basic for 190. Our expanded is 234. This costs us $40 to do, right? In-house. The only extra additive that we would have to buy through our budget would be a refrigerator, and that's it.
So, and you basically answered my next question, is once certified, this will hold up in court as far as what it's gonna be?
A lot of the states that are using, a lot of the other coroner's offices throughout the states that are using the Randox machine are using it in court. We would have to work with the DA and to show them what they do. Is they do comparative tests. They'll send some out to NMS and then some to and do some in-house, and then they'll show the comparative. The only thing we're looking at is if we do get a DRD or something, a DDRD or something that we need to send out, we will have extra blood that we can send out to NMS, so we'll have the comparative data to go to court.
And this this is paid through a grant?
Yeah, it's paid by the Paul Coverdale grant out of Texas that Mr. Bender sent me. So, yeah.
Okay.
My question was the payment, and obviously, if you're gonna save money by doing it in-house, you already have it budgeted in your budget, so there'll be no additional cost to the county.
Yeah, I think our budget's like 140 a year. We would only have to budget maybe 25,000. And under this grant, we may be able to purchase every year the supplies. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, because I just think it's the way to go to save the money for the county. And then get the information back to law enforcement quicker so that they can move forward with prosecuting or whatever they need to do.
As long as it's not gonna be, if you're gonna do toxology and then have to send it out, so it holds up in court. That's
Well,
what
right, it's gonna depend on what what we can work with the DA at that point. We're not gonna, like, right now, we send everybody out, even ones that aren't even being, prosecuted for DDRD. So we're sending them out and we're paying the 190 or the 100.
So you'll save on those ones, and then the ones if, say the DA doesn't wanna, for some reason doesn't wanna do this, he can still have the option then to send everything out to.
Right, we'll always save a little extra blood just to make sure we have it to send out. The nice part is we can do vitreous in-house. Vitreous is a very expensive test. We can do vitreous in-house. That will give us a breakdown of what's in it. So like heroin is broken down to different drugs. This will break it down. And this actually machine will test. So if we get a xylazine overdose, we have to pay extra to have a xylazine test. This machine will do a xylazine test. If we have to do a tissue test costs us $496. This will do it for $40. So the savings is there. It's just that I would rather do it through a grant than anything else. Okay?
Have a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the request.
Second.
Other question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Solicitor's office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Paul Dottie, County Solicitor. On March 11, 2024, the United States District Court for the Middle District of Pennsylvania conducted a pretrial conference in United States District Court for the Middle District of Pennsylvania Civil Action Number 321 CV 4777. At that time, the sitting judge also directed the parties to mediate the disputes with another federal judge serving as mediator. After careful consideration of the financial risk to the county of an adverse outcome in that case, and United States District Court for the Middle District of Pennsylvania Civil Action Number 324 CV 386, as well as the continued erosion of the availability of the county's insurance coverage in the case associated with the attorney's fees and costs of the law firms representing the county and certain county defendants, which is approaching $2 million. Also considering the spectacle of a protracted trial and its impact on the county, its citizens and employees. And lastly, in consideration of the recommendations of the federal judge mediating the disputes, the attorneys representing the county, as well as the county solicitor's office, the Board of Commissioners agreed to settle both cases, and the solicitor's office is seeking approval of the following motions. A motion to approve a settlement among Schuylkill County and Melissa Goodman, Angela Toomey, and Denise Gerchak in relation to their claims against the county and all county defendants, including the claims raised in United States District Court for the Middle District of Pennsylvania Civil Action Number 321 CV 4777 and Number 324 CV 386, to include mutual releases, non-admission of any liability by the county and the county defendants, and the payment to the plaintiffs of $3,200,000 as follows. Melissa Goodman, $1,066,666.67, consisting of $157,134.56 to Ms. Goodman and $122,211.05 to her attorneys, Catherine W. Lowry, Esquire, and Derek Smith Law Group, PLLC, for attorney's fees and costs under Civil Action Number 321 CV 477, and $472,392.64 to Ms. Goodman and $314,928.42 to her attorneys, Catherine W. Lowry, Esquire, and Derek Smith Law Group, PLLC, for attorney's fees and costs under Civil Action Number 324 CV 386. To Angela Toomey, $1,066,666.66, with $629,659.05 to Ms. Toomey, and $437,007.61 to her attorneys, Catherine W. Lowry Esquire and Derek Smith Law Group PLLC, for attorneys' fees and costs. And Denise Gerchak, $1,066,666.67, with $629,659.06 to Ms. Gerchak, and $437,007.61 to her attorneys, Catherine W. Lowry Esquire and Derek Smith Law Group PLLC, for attorneys' fees and costs. The sources of the settlement payments are as follows. $1,550,000 will be paid by the county's insurance carriers, $100,000 will be paid by Hubrick Resources, and $1,550,000 will be paid by the county, of which $1,302,607.36 will be allocable and paid to Catherine W. Lowry Esquire and Derek Smith Law Group PLLC for the plaintiff's attorney's fees and costs, and $247,302.94 will be allocable and paid to Melissa Goodman, and those county payments are requested to be approved today. So if you want to do that motion first.
Can I have a motion to approve the solicitor just presented?
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Secondly, a motion to adjust budgetary authority in the amount of $1,550,000 to cover the anticipated payments as a time-sensitive matter if the foregoing motion is adopted by the Board of Commissioners, which it has been. We'd ask for a motion at this time.
Can I have a motion to what Paul presented?
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Thank you. I believe Paul will have a specific resolution on whether he's here.
We have it.
Let me, if you want to take care of that now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Approval of supplemental budget appropriation resolution for current year 2025-03 for $1,550,000, which essentially, again, is the resolution that would transfer the money internally.
Can I have a motion to that effect for the supplemental budget appropriation?
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Finance office. Here, you want to read that, Gary?
We have two budget adjustments, one prior year from the court and one current year from engineering real estate.
County administrator?
On behalf of Schuylkill County Park and Recreation, approval is requested to apply for DCD grant of $20,000 to replace 30 deteriorated park benches at Sweet Arrow Lake Park. The 15% required match will be provided by the Sweet Arrow Lake Conservation Association.
Anthony, Human Resources?
Good morning, Commissioners. Approval to enter into a contract with Marshall McLennan Agency LLC for the purpose of facilitating a strategic plan and review of the county's health and welfare programs and providing recommendations to the county for a 3-year period at total cost of $151,000 per year.
Thank you. And on the
grid, there are 2 items in children and youth. The appointment of Tricia Moyer-Mentor as a county caseworker 1. The rate is $21.5695, effective 4/21/25 rate per contract. And the transfer of Melanie Shirey to county caseworker 1 at a rate of $21.5695, effective 4/21/25 rate per the contract. The appointment's pending drug test and physical where appropriate, and all actions involving salary or for positions being created pending salary board approval. That is all.
Thank you. So we do have a statement that I want to read. Today we remove a cloud that has been hanging over the county for almost 5 years. We as your county commissioners firmly believe that the settlement we approve today is in the best interest of the county, the women, its employees, and its citizens. But make no mistake, this action of a single individual has cost Schuylkill County dearly and set the stage for all that followed. It is now time to move on from this sad chapter in our county's history. We are proud to have implemented policies, procedures, and training for all county employees and elected officials designed to avoid the recurrence of the issues that led to this costly litigation. We have made every effort to maintain confidence in the county government and restore our county's reputation. We will continue to address the county's business and implement new and innovative ideas, but without the impediment of this lengthy and time-consuming litigation. Schuylkill County's best days are ahead of us, and together we can step into the future together. Thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, just before
Oh,
you
go
do
ahead.
that, I just want to announce that tomorrow at Penn State Schuylkill, our annual youth summit will be held. A fantastic event that's been held for 10 years now that engages our youth, our greatest asset that we have in this county. And hopefully that they'll continue to live here, work here, and hopefully sometimes get involved in different things. And it has proved to be successful over the years. This year's opportunities are going to talk about community service opportunities, advocacy, and also civic and community engagement. So should be a real interesting day. If anyone has the opportunity from 9 to 2, stop by and take part in some things that you'll see going on. Again, this is engaging the youth on saying, hey, what can we do, especially as they step up into hopefully leadership roles in the future to make a better Schuylkill County. So just wanted to announce that.
And off of Gary, and it was, last year was the first time I was able to attend it. It was a great event. It was neat to hear what they think is the important parts, what they think is gonna be important in the future of the county. Because hopefully, like Gary said, they stay here, they live here, they raise their families here, they make a living here. So, and they keep making Schuylkill County strong. We need our youth to stay here, not just move away and come back, retire or anything. We need them to stay here and invest in our community and our county. So it is a really neat event. My first time going last year, and Gary is, I gotta commend Gary on how involved he is on it and how he helps spearhead it, and he really helps a lot with that. So
Well,
I just
again,
wanna appreciate it.
I'd like to say, just we have an advisory board and also our staff,
Yep.
there, Linda and Connie help along with it. Mandy and also 2 individuals that have just come on board to help Schuylkill Connect, which was Vision. So again, they were also employees of Penn State, so which is good. So we have some additional people helping. It's a collective group of not just the commissioners, but everyone, whether it's in business, community service, and so forth. So they feel the importance of this, that we need young leaders to take, especially to get involved in community service opportunities and also advocacy, and also, to speak up on things, and not only speak up, but bring ideas to say, how can we make effective change? So that's the thing.
I just want to give a pat on the back to Mr. Hess too, that he's been, like Larry said, a kingpin of this, and it was a short hiatus during COVID, and we were afraid it wasn't going to come back, but he got it back on his feet. So Gary, I commend you for your involvement in supporting that program. As I said, that, I have a couple of grandkids that recently, and then, I hope they live in Schuylkill County and work here someday. So that's what it's all about. So thank you for what you do, Karen. Appreciate it.
Thank you for all your support, appreciate it. I know that the students definitely do, so thank you.
Have a motion to adjourn.
So moved, sir.
Salary board, report of any executive sessions,
There were none held.
public comment.
Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto. Just to touch on your other thing you said before about one person created that whole monster. There are many other defendants in that lawsuit, most of which left the county. Mr. Roth, Ms. Zula, we have Mr. Bender sitting here. There's a lot of other defendants that caused a lot of problems for the county and made it worse. I just want to clarify that. On the agenda, it says there's 7 repository sales, only 5 are listed. I don't know if that's a typo, or is there 2 missing that the public don't know about? Also, it says approval of attached list of private sales. They're not online, they're not posted anywhere. We had an issue with,
There you go. Here you go.
we had an issue with some private sales a couple of years ago with certain people getting priority on them. Is there a way that the public can be more informed on them?
This is on the website.
This is on the website.
Which ones are?
The one I just.
Where can you find them at?
Pages. Should be where the agenda is.
It's definitely not,
Well, it was added like maybe an hour later. realized it wasn't sent with the agenda, so it should be out.
So an hour later after, what is it, Tuesday at 12, or,
Tuesday at 10, it's supposed to be.
so it was a Tuesday at 11 that they realized it wasn't.
There's a lot going on in there.
But I believe these are the I believe these are the backlog requirements that they're starting to catch up on, I think.
That is correct.
Yeah, these are the ones that were paused, and then they're starting to catch up the ones that were paused back. When they were paused, Jeff, I don't, you know what I mean?
Because there is an active investigation, I'm not sure if you're aware, with the Attorney General regarding some shady transactions throughout the county, not with the county, but some
Yeah, it's not the
developers.
county.
Yeah, not the county itself, but the
Yeah.
developer. Questioning the coroner's office, I have a few things on that. I wish he would have stayed, but is the coroner himself going to be trained with this toxicology machine? He said 3 deputies. I would like to know if the coroner is going to be trained. A lot of things seem to be contingent upon the DA on getting this machine. Why not reach out to the DA first to try to figure that out?
Well, that's what I just asked. They'll still save on the ones that.
I get that.
Yeah, that's what I asked.
The bottom line,
Yeah.
you would want
I know what you're saying.
to not put the cart before the horse.
And this is action just for the grant.
Yeah, this is just to apply for the grant.
Okay. Now, back to the office itself, I brought up several months ago, which you guys weren't even aware, that the building was listed actively for sale through a realtor now. Larry, you said the county had a plan in place if that happened. Do we still have a plan? Because it seemed like he turned into a dictator with that office. And I'm in real estate over 12 years now. I don't think I would ever allow a tenant to tell me they're taking extra space, dictate what they're using. He multiplied the office space and then said that they're gonna strike a deal with you guys for a lease. Like, who gave him permission to expand? It seems like nobody in the county knew he was expanding to that multitude, and then he's gonna force your hand at a lease.
We knew he was adding the morgue area, the place for the people.
I believe it was 5 times the original size, correct?
And then when he had the seat, yeah, it's larger than the original size. And
I think it was 5 times the amount, but
and it's for the CT machine too, for housing of that, for the virtual autopsies.
right, but I mean, he gets a salary.
Yes.
We pay him a lease for the building. I believe we lease some of the equipment still off of him, and he can't do a autopsy there. That just blows my mind. Like, what are we? When that building sells, if they want to get rid of the car, oh, there he is. Thank God he's here. He can answer some. So that's my question: is
If he sells the building and we can't work a deal out with the new owner of the building,
Right.
then we will move the coroner's office to eventually what I want to do is have a full-time, it's the coroner's office forever. If the new coroner's elected, here's your office.
right? Do we have a location for that though?
We have some locations in mind. We have a few spaces within the county that we own.
We also heard that for 12 years about the pre-release center too, and
Well,
we see
but
where
that's-
that's at.
But this is, honestly, if we can't strike a deal, I would rather have a permanent.
I agree.
I
with
would
you.
rather have a permanent, just like any office here in the
Right.
courthouse.
Right.
If they're a
I
permanent
just-
office, that's where they go.
Why he's getting paid a salary, lease of equipment, I can't do an autopsy and everything gets sent out is beyond me. I mean, that's, and then to force your hand at this lease and say, we're gonna multiply it 5 times the size, but we're confident we'll work a deal out. I don't think you guys were really aware of what was going on to the magnitude it was, maybe getting a little bigger, but I think that whole office needs to be investigated on the way that it's operated. And it's no coincidence that him and Miss Gaffney are tighter than the lid on a pickle jar, to say. So hopefully that gets looked into and figured out what's going on in that office, because a lot of things don't seem right. But the one question I have was, will Mr. Moylan be trained on this equipment as well, or just 3 deputies?
It's gonna be 3 deputies, because if the coroner, if Doc does leave, or retires, or doesn't run again, there's no point in wasting that position that way, okay?
So it's basically planned that he's not gonna run again or he's retiring, is
I don't know what his plan is.
Because then you would wanna get trained if you're in that
It's like,
position.
I gotta say, I'm a county commissioner, but we have CPAs working for us. I'm not trained to be a CPA. I don't plan on being a CPA.
No, but you're not the
Yeah,
finance director of the
but-
county.
Yeah.
He's the coroner of the
What I'm
county.
saying is, as long as he has the ability to facilitate it, and hopefully, say if something does happen, the doc doesn't run again, or he retires, the staff stays on and trained.
Okay, but no offense.
I understand.
You're in the office for 15 months now. Do you see how many deputies go through that office? And you're worried about him retiring? There's more deputies that go through that office than anywhere else in the county. So you gotta weigh your options here with
Yeah,
that,
no.
but thank
Like
you.
I said, we have a thing.
Thank you.
Good morning, Judge.
Morning. There's no public comment.
For salary board, but we'll make an exception.
Mr. Richmond or Joe, Sheriff Rudy.
Go.
I just received a no, and it's coming second, third hand to me, and I would like the cooperation of the press on this. We got a notice from the sheriff that there's a scam being attempted. You know the details, or? Well, I'll tell you what I've been told, that people are getting calls with the number from the courthouse, how they do things with computers. I don't know how to do that. But people that were listed for jury duty this past term, and they're being told that they missed jury duty, they needed to pay $5,000. One person withdrew money from the bank, attempted to follow through with the instructions, realized it was a scam. Several people have called the sheriff's office with similar reports.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So.
It's tactical scam with jury summonses, it's also with turnpike stuff, that they vote for turnpike fines. And in some cases, they actually give names of deputies that haven't been called.
And what I'm concerned about are the people who were just called for jury duty. We've been told that our computer system, it's not that our computer system in the courthouse was hacked, so we don't know how that happened, but we don't know how to get this information out to the people that were called for jury duty. A lot appeared, many don't appear, but we would ask for the cooperation of the press to try to get a warning out to people.
Your Honor, we put one thing on our Facebook site for it. I also talked to Amy, and that is the best way to do it. Have a press release put out so the public knows.
So that, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no,
but
that's fine, that's something good, that
I heard
information for the people, because I get them for the term, like, I don't even have the term. And I get it all the time that you have to pay your turnpike and.
Well, I do too.
Yeah, no, I don't have
I mean, on my
turnpike
cell
thing.
phone, but since we just really did have
Jury things.
jury, and apparently these are people that were on our jury list. So,
And you're not just getting phone calls, you're getting text messages.
Text message, that's the new thing now.
So we encourage everybody, when in doubt, just call our office, because we're the ones that go with the warrants, and we know who it is.
but
If we have to pick somebody.
again, thank you to any media if you would cooperate in getting that word out to the public. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's perfectly fine. Human resources.
Just one item, the Public Defender's Office, reclassification, Darius Rivera, part-time secretary one, rate is 15.4081, effective 4/7/25. It's a change from 20 hours bi-weekly to 40 hours bi-weekly, not to exceed 1,000 hours per year.
And you need a motion right away for
So moved,
sir.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Controller Yekenship? Yes. And Public Defender Domoffice?
Any new business for salary board?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.